What do you think is the most important thing to watch for in Russia now? Its military, the economy, the political opposition, the pressure that the world is applying onto Russia? Anything? In my opinion, the most important thing that matters in Russia now is the thing, to watch closely, to monitor, is Vladimir Putin's grip on power. I've said it before, and I repeat again, that Ukraine's victory will come not from the front lines, but from the inside Russia. Country's current political system that Putin himself built, called the vertical of power, will break apart. And in the process, Russia's political system and its civil society will be reformatted. And most likely, as soon as the process of this great reformatting, or in other words, great Russian reset will start, the war with Ukraine will end. This is why I watch carefully for every single possible sign that Putin will soon lose his grip on power and start the reset. And guess what? I just saw another sign, actually a pretty potent one. And in this stream, I'll share my observation with you, and I'll give you a more detailed insight of what I think. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. What you will not find here is propaganda, BS or lies. What you will find is truth, common sense and logic, and some emotions, because I am a human being. And I will be talking of power and of Putin. And at the end, I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think? Do you agree with me or not? I'd love to hear from you, your feedback in the live stream chat comments that I turn on after my message, or if you're watching the stream after it's over, then in the comments after the stream. Thank you so very much. He'll go soon. It's becoming more and more obvious. The way he exits the grand game of Russian dictatorship will influence the future of Russia. That's why I look thoroughly at every step he takes or doesn't take, because it is also a sign. I clearly remember the time when I started feeling, not, seeing, more like feeling really, something unusual was happening in Russia. The dictatorship in Russia is based on and safeguarded by the political system, organization, so to speak, called the vertical of power. People on the very top, including the very top, the Tsar, rule the entire country using the vertical of power with rights and means to suppress freedoms and to lawfully use violence against Russian citizens. This whole system functions as designed only if the power and the will of the very top is strong as steel. The leadership must be strong, unshakable, and ruthless. And it can be compared to a pack of wolves. And wolves, please forgive me for such comparison. I know it's demeaning to you, but I cannot find anything else to compare to. Any pack of wolves has a leader. The pack obeys the leader, but the leader must be the strongest, the most skilled. As soon as the leader loses its grip, such leader is ousted and a new leader emerges, the strongest, the new strongest. Russian vertical of power also functions and obeys orders only if a leader is the strongest and the most ruthless. Once leader becomes weak, he usually disappears from life. You see, wolves are much more merciful than the Russian politicians. Wolves just oust old leader, and in Russia, ousting usually means being taken care of. So this time, for the very first time I smelled the change was in March, about 6 months ago. Putin addressed the nation with a bunch of bullcrap on February 21st, and I covered it in detail. Much ado about nothing, and then he disappeared from the public life. Prigozhin and the Ministry of Defense started feuding. You all remember that. And it turned ugly, very ugly. Two power agencies of Russian government were fighting with each other in public. And that was really the time for Putin to exercise his power to keep everything under control. The last thing he needed to show to the Russians that there was something rotten in his kingdom. Well, he had to stand up and shout at both, at both agencies, Prigozhin, at the Minister of Defense, at everyone involved, hey, you, each into your every corner, out there, you stand and, you break it off. And they would, both agencies, Prigozhin, Shoigu, and everyone involved, would have to follow his orders unconditionally and immediately. And they would have to apologize to each other publicly and make amends publicly at the word of the Tsar. And that's how everyone would know the Tsar was still strong. Instead, Putin did the worst thing possible for any dictator. He self-ejected from the public eyes and disappeared for a long time. He started losing his power grip then for the first time. The escalation was increasing and resulted in Prigozhin's Wagner's privates kidnapping Russian armed forces semi-colonel while he was on the active duty, beating him, torturing him, and possibly raping him. And that is on territory of Russia. And the armed forces didn't move to free one of its own high-ranked officers. They didn't do anything. The news made public and became viral. The entire world learned about that. And you must remember, I covered it extensively in the live streams. Putin did not react again. He did not react in any way when in mid-May, Prigozhin threatened to kill Russia's Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff publicly, and publicly insulted Putin. Putin didn't do anything when first Ukrainian drones hit Moscow in early June. Remember that? I remember quite well because one of the drones hit an apartment right next to mine, my old one. He did not react in any way when Belgorod was raided by the Russian Freedom Legion from the Ukrainian side, and a good part of Belgorod province was being shelled. The Russians were watching in awe. That's for the first time the war came to Russian territory. And their president was nowhere to be found. Russia appeared not having the leader at that time. The vacuum of leadership. That's how it's called, really. And that was pretty darn bad for would be bad for any leader, and it was pretty darn bad for Vladimir Putin. And the eruption happened, of course, on June 24th. The Wagner Mutiny. Prigozhin rebelled, captured the entire 1 million people city of Rostov-on-Don, clashed with the armed forces, shot down multiple aircraft, killed 14 Russian Air Force pilots doing their duty, on duty, captured 2 top generals that were operating the war in Ukraine, declared the March of Justice to dethrone Putin, and moved to Moscow, and basically made it to Moscow. Oh, we all remember how Putin reacted. With silence at first. Only 24 hours later, he addressed the nation out of fear and desperation when Wagner was capturing Voronezh. That's a big city, 1 million people city, right between Rostov-on-Don and Moscow, halfway. He was shaken down, fingers shaking, his eyelid, jumping up and down. He appeared small, crushed, and weak. Oh, at that moment I thought that was the end of it. The wolf was not the strongest in the pack anymore, and the entire world, not just entire Russia, but the entire world saw that. I decided then that he's a dead man walking, because you just don't get away with stuff like that, Power is a very dangerous toy. Once you grab it, then you let it go, and you get burned. In my eyes, he was done. Just a matter of time when he's out of the Kremlin, out of life, really. Since then, Putin's power grip has been gradually slipping. He's been losing control of the economy. He tried to gain his strength back when Prigozhin's jet, all of a sudden fell out from the sky, had a harsh landing. We all know how that ended. In Putin's eyes, it must have been a message to everyone. Look, I'm still the strongest. Look what happens to my enemies if you threaten me. Instead, it backfired. Everyone knows that he's too scared to face opponents face to face, but he backstabs like a coward, It's not good for power. It's not good for any power. It's not good for any strong man. Because you gotta keep on showing constantly that you're a strong man. You're not afraid of anything, You're straightforward. You can win in a face-to-face fight with anyone. That's how it works. That's the power game. And the last sign of Putin losing the grip was actually yesterday, October 11th. Russian Energy Week 2023. The annual energy industry event that happens in Moscow, and he personally attended the event this time, and he tried to tighten the grip in my eyes. He tried, but he failed. All I can say that, speaking out of the Energy Week, Putin stepped onto my territory. That's my turf. I know it very well, folks. I worked in the energy industry for the past 20 years, and I organized my company's participation in this very event, the Russian Energy Week, yes. Now I want to look closely at what Putin said and at this event, and why I think he showed more signs of his weakness and losing the grip. Putin attended Russian Energy Week and spoke. He appeared in public, in front of the audience. First, I noticed his bad physical appearance and speech. Actually, first, the guy who was speaking in front of everyone actually did not look like Putin. I'm not sure it was real Putin or not, but for the simplicity's sake, let's suppose it was real Putin. Well, folks, he did not look well. He spoke even worse than he looked. He appeared to be intoxicated. And I mean, not drunk. Oh, no. I've never seen Putin drunk. I've never heard Putin drinking, really. But he looked acting slow, as if he was heavily medicated, He did not have great control of his words, as he usually does. I don't know. Second, he spoke nonsense. And I'm gonna quote him. I'm gonna tell you the messages that he sent, the parts of speeches that he did. on Russian gas supply, on Russian gas supply to Europe. I quote, "By refusing Russian gas, Europe has created big problem for itself. They hoped that our country's economy would not survive, but Russia will not collapse." Why do they need to create problems for themselves in the hope that we in Russia collapse? But we will not collapse. It's already clear. And it is also clear to all of them. Well, I have some news for you, Vladimir. I don't know how closely or how meaningfully you look at the papers that you must be supplied by Russian government agencies, the central bank, the Ministry of Finance, and the likes. I really don't know, but it appears that you don't really understand what really is going on. I really don't know, but how do I say that? I mean, I've done so many streams about Russian gas, Russian economy, Russian this, Russian that, My friend, not really my friend, but Putin, Russia, so if you didn't know, has lost its supply to Europe. Europe does not buy Russian gas anymore. Well, it actually buys, but very little of it, not compared to what it used to buy with Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, Second, European countries are banned from buying Russian oil, period. Third, all countries in the world are banned to buy Russian oil at above $60 per barrel. That is a huge blow to the economy of Russian Federation. Russia has lost 50% of its export revenues, of its budget, really, because oil and gas has historically been Russia's bread makers. And you saying that we will not collapse? I would like to specify, we will not collapse overnight, but we have been going down, down, and down. Steadily, slowly, but steadily. And we will continue to go down for a very long time. For a very long time after you are out of the office, and that's going to be soon. Our kids will be suffering this, what you have done. Our grandchildren will be suffering. And I'm pretty sure of that. So we are collapsing. But it's a slow collapse. Slow but sure. So, what you said was nonsense. I move on. He spoke on the gasoline and diesel domestic prices. In recent months, we have faced a spike in gasoline and diesel fuel prices. The government has made a number of decisions, has taken a number of steps, and they are designed to return the situation to normal. Vladimir, again, I don't know what you're reading. I don't know what you're fed by Russian federal agencies, Russian government agencies, but what you're saying doesn't make any sense. There's been a huge disbalance in the industry of oil and gas, including refinery, and you have taken very strange and small and crazy steps, and not many of them, and not strong steps, in order to rectify the situation. Not to rectify, but help a little bit. And guess what? 2 days ago, you reversed that situation. You brought it back to normal. So basically, at the time of your speech, all those steps that had been taken, they were nullified. Perhaps you weren't uninformed. They didn't inform you. But what kind of president are you if you don't know what's going on right under your nose? Okay? So, no. Situation will not go back to normal. But I guess we will see very soon. You don't have to take my word on that. Hey, what if Putin actually listens to my streams? Would it be fun? And I move on. Another thing he spoke about German and European economy. So he commented on that. I quote, "I want to be correct, but it seems to me that this is some kind of unwise economic behavior, as if they are deliberately harming German economy. I just don't understand why it's possible to supply gas to Germany through the territory of Ukraine, and according to the Nord Stream 2, they believe it's impossible. And through the Nord Stream 2, they believe it's impossible. And all it takes is just a turnkey. Well, Vladimir, it's not about physically supplying gas to Russia. I guess physically, it's fairly easy to fix that blown up Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, pipelines, because, hey, you built them in a few years. Of course, you can rebuild that little portion that's been blown up in weeks, perhaps months, and yes, you can supply back, but it's not just about physically supplying through Nord Stream 2. It's about Europe not wanting buying gas from Russia, not wanting to pay Russia for what it's doing to Ukraine, to supply Russian military-industrial complex. It doesn't want to do business in Russia anymore, at least with you at the helm of the country. It wants to teach you a lesson. It does want the Russian economy to be in trouble, not being able to support the war that you're waging on Ukraine. That's what it's all about, not about physical ability to supply through the Nord Stream, So by saying that, I don't understand who advises you that, but by saying that, you just show that you don't really understand what really is going on. You're making fool of it. Actually, probably it's not you. It's your speech writers who writes you this pieces, They make fool out of you. I move on. The Russian fuel and energy industry is working and stable. The main task is to create maximum added value. No kidding, Sherlock. The development of deep refining oil and gas. Large-scale oil and gas chemistry projects have been planned and are being implemented, and Russian government will be participating in them. Well, folks, I don't even know where I start. I mean, do you understand what I just said? He says that Russian oil and gas industry is stable. Russian biggest pipelines leading to Europe have been blown up. They are not operational. Europe, the best customer, has refused to buy oil all along and has reduced buying Russian gas for, 80% or so. Russian oil refineries have been targeted by the Ukrainian drones multiple times, and quite a few of them are out of operation. Fuel and gasoline prices are out of control, skyrocketing. There are shortages. Even a bigger problem looming that is going to bring catastrophe to the refining processes, that Russia does not have own technology, does not have own equipment, does not have own anything. It relied on everything Western. The technology, the processes, licensed processes, and the equipment and the spare parts and the service and the Western companies, and all are out of Russia. So you calling it operational and stable? Well, what is unstable for you then? That everything disappears, you know? Next, Vladimir Putin, you are saying that there are new large-scale oil and gas chemistry projects have been planned and are being implemented, and the Russian government will be participating. Well, who else besides Russian government can participate as investor? Because all investors are gone, both Western, foreign, and Russian. Chinese are not in a hurry to invest in Russia. Indians not in a hurry, let alone North Koreans, your new best friends. They somehow are not investing into Russian large-scale projects. And the thing is, I think you are just trying to hide the truth from us, because I am inside the industry and I have not heard of any large-scale oil and gas projects planned, let alone being implemented. For what? You're shutting down refineries right now. You shutting down the oil wells. You are burning gas into the atmosphere, into thin air. You don't need to build anything new. You don't have money, you don't have technology, you don't have companies to build, you don't have anything. And you are telling us publicly that there are big or large-scale oil and gas chemistry projects are under development. Give us names. Tell what the projects are. Don't give us this bullcrap. Oh, we have large projects. Tell where they are, where the investment's coming from, how much they cost, these projects, who are the general contractors. Give us the details. No such luck, folks, you know. I need some English tea. Turning out quite a stream. Well, I told you, emotions involved too, because I'm a human being. I can't stand this lie. Couple more messages. By the decision of the president, the participants of the special military operation, that's how they call the war in Russia, will be entitled to receive a subsidy for the installation of gas supplying equipment. This is the part of a large-scale Russian project to develop gas transportation system within the country. Folks, just in case you didn't know, that 40+% of Russian households do not have supply of natural gas. You know, they're bragging so much, oh, if Europe does not buy Russian gas anymore, Europe will freeze and all of that. But how Russians don't freeze? Russian winters are much harsher than European ones. And 40% of Russian households do not have access to natural gas, and somehow they don't freeze. They use wood, they use coal, they use, I don't know, hay, whatever they burn in stoves, ovens, I don't know. So anyway, that's the best you can come up with, to give subsidies to those who were fighting in Ukraine to install gas equipment. That's going to make them happy, right? This is just insane. I mean, that's quite an achievement. How do Russian people actually so patient with that? I don't know. Moving on. My first favorite topic, electricity, power supply. Oh, I love it. Well, I've been building power plants. I was building power plants for 20 years, you know. In Russia, in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan. I know a thing or two about power plants and electricity and power supply and the industry and everything, you know, and the projects. Oh, I know. Vlad, you are on my turf here. Supplying domestic market with electricity, a basic priority for Russia in the energy sector. The authorities will constantly and consistently improve the reliability of energy supply to Russian regions. Now, where do I start? Vladimir, do you even know who is left of large equipment manufacturers, turbine manufacturers? Do you know who Russia relied on in the last 20 years? Two companies, Siemens and General Electric. I know quite well because I was in charge of dealing with Siemens in my company, and I did vendor approval process and the whole 9 yards. I know the company quite well. I know their turbines. I know their projects in Russia. I knew all the salespeople. And we also designed a manufacturing plant for GE turbines, okay, as an engineering company. So I know GE a little bit as well. Two manufacturers were providing the best turbines in the world into Russian market, and the Russian electricity is being produced, generated, with help, a great deal with help of Siemens and General Electric turbines. And these companies were the first ones to leave Russia. Siemens had been present in Russia for 172 years. It was present through hard times, through wars, through anything. But it left in 2022. And that's a shame. Western companies, Alstom, Arriva, ABB, were the ones who supplied the best switchgear equipment to Russia. Russian infrastructure, electrical infrastructure, transmission and distribution grid has been renewed in the last 15 years with help of ABB, Siemens, and Alstom Arriva. That was bought by General Electric later. I know, I participated. I was building that stuff, Russian grid is pretty reliable because of the Western manufacturers. Russian manufacturers, how do I put it mildly? Well, mostly manufacture crap. Russian turbines, steam turbines, well, they're like design of 1960s and 70s at best. There's one company, major company called Silovaya Mashiny, but I know them quite well, and they're not a match to Siemens. What the hell are you talking about? Without Western technology, without Western part, without Western engineering, Russian grid will be decaying over time. It's in pretty good shape now, thanks to the Western companies, but it will be downgrading, it will be aging, it will be decaying. And we'll see that rather sooner than later. How do you see that? Outages, the blackouts. More and more of those. Transformer stations, automation, relay protection kicking in, and emergencies, blow-ups, transformers blowing up, and so forth. We'll see that. And then another thing that Putin said, the record of energy consumption in Russian Federation set in 2022 can be broken in 2023. Now, again, I don't understand this. When country consumes more electrical energy, when economy is growing, when industry is growing, I highly doubt that 2022 was the record year, but you know what? I have not fact-checked it, and perhaps it's possible, but not because things are so peachy and rosy in Russia, but because this military-industrial complex, like you've said many times, is working 24/7, 3 shifts. This is where a potential increase in consumption of electricity comes from. Everything else is falling apart, is going to hell. The factories closing, the companies are closing, people start saving, pitching pennies, saving on everything. What energy consumption increase? What record? What are you talking about? Are you normal, like in your mind right here? Folks, please forgive me. Forgive me. This is about electricity. This is in my heart, All right. If you look at broadcasting of his speech, you'll see occasional faces of close-ups of faces from the audience. All executives, because it's not cheap to participate in Energy Week, especially in a session where Putin is sitting and speaking, at the table. It costs lots of money to participate. So all higher-ups of energy companies, oil company executives, and you should see their faces. They're looking like knowing it's absolute crap. They aren't happy, not happy campers. And I think that all of them, all the faces, the close-ups I saw were sad, and I think all of them realized the catastrophe that coming to Russia's energy industry, and it's not happy faces. And the last thing, folks, I noticed something unusual, okay, but actually before that I'd like to wrap up about Vladimir Putin. Again, the changes in Russia will not come from the front lines, not come from refrigerators of Russian people. The changes will come from the hawks, who will be biting at Vladimir Putin at the very top. And he's been fending off, but that's not gonna last for a long time, because once the wolves see that their leader is not strong anymore, not the strongest, not the sharpest, not the most ruthless, he's not gonna stand a chance. And the power has been slipping. And I think he knows that. Looking at Putin, you don't see the guy who was in front of the cameras 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So confident, such a macho, such an alpha, speaking like he controlled everyone. Just look at him now. Much different. So, this one last thing. I noticed something unusual, but this is actually what I've said before is facts. Okay, that happened, and this is what I think will happen. But right now, complete, total speculation of mine. Could be a total coincidence, okay? What could be not? Now, this is me suggesting a wild thing out there. But let's just make a note of it, and let's see in the future if I was right or wrong. Mikhail Friedman is Russia's oligarch. One of the old school oligarchs, strongman, made his fortune in the early 90s. He was in charge, very close to Yeltsin's family throughout the 90s, and he was one of the few who actually installed Vladimir Putin into the president's position. He was one of the puppet masters. There were 7, and he was, pulling the strings. That guy knows Russian political landscape like none other. Moreover, he has been creating Russian political landscape. He is one of the grand puppet masters. Guess what happened 18 months ago? Starting February 24th of last year, he flew Russia. He escaped Russia immediately and started supporting Ukraine. He donated large sums of money to Ukrainian army, spent all the time in London, and his accounts have been frozen. He's been under sanctions as Putin's friends, supporter, and so forth. He's been fighting in court, in English court, and all of that. And all of a sudden, he returns to Russia. He just returned a couple days ago. Why? It doesn't make any sense. he was fearing to go back to Russia, and he wanted to distance himself from Russia as far as possible. And now all of a sudden he returns, just like that. It makes sense under one condition. He came back to claim his role in the post-Putin's Russia, to establish his place, just like he did in the late 99. It means that right now, something could be happening very actively behind the curtains, behind the curtain of the political establishment of Russia, okay? And Mikhail Friedman was eager to jump despite the risk. I mean, he can be arrested. He openly supported Ukrainians with money to give Ukrainian army, you know? So, and all of a sudden he jumps back to Russia despite all these risks. The stakes must be high. But again, this could be a total coincidence, okay? And the reasons could be different. This is my speculation, okay? Don't quote me on that, but let's just, you know, for the sake of it, let's find out what happens in the future, if I'm right or wrong. So, folks, these are the signs of Russia's upcoming collapse and of Ukrainians' win. That's what I've said in the stream. If you look for the economy to collapse, or you look for the Russians to protest, you're looking at the wrong places. In my opinion, the changes will come from the very top, and this is what I think. I brought something to the stream today, by the way. I brought some popcorn. Uzbek style and Uzbek size. And I'm opening it. And this is my official popcorn. I pretend it's big, this big, you know. I'm having my popcorn. I'm watching the grandest show on earth of the largest country collapsing. Folks, come along. And this is my message. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned something interesting. Fantastic to see everyone. It's an honor and pleasure. Let me turn a live stream chat on, and I would love you to carry on and to take participation into the chat. Let me know what you think of my message. Do you agree with me? Am I right, or I'm totally off? I'd love to know. And it's okay if you have different opinion, by the way, you know, no problem. I like that. It's always food for thought. While I am turning the live stream chat on, I would like you to help me out a little bit to help spread my message by making reposts in your social media accounts. That helps algorithm of YouTube a lot to notice my streams and make them available to more people. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee or a tea like this one, English breakfast, I'm drinking Taylor's of Harrogate, Yorkshire Gold, and this is fantastic tea. So if you want to buy me a cup, I would love that. Not necessarily, but would be welcome. Thank you so very much. Live stream chat is on. And this, folks, is my most favorite part of any chat. I've said it many times. I love turning it on, and I love seeing it explode with people. Wonderful mods, Lorna and Mommy K, and Bob S, and Harry Podman, and Amir Fazat. Thank you for coming. You are fantastic. In case you are the first time here, this moderation team of Inside Russia is the best in the world, hands down. Thank you for coming. And I would like to, just give me a second, as usual I put the comments into a separate box so I see them better. And if you want me to notice your comment or question easier, please put it in caps, in all caps, and put inside Russia after @ so I see it highlighted in orange, and then boom, it's right into my eyes. Thank you so much. The usual suspects, thank you for coming. Dirk, I don't think you missed one stream. Thank you, friend. Couple super chats. Robert Whip, thank you so much. There's some ego in the audio, echo in the audio, your voice, so to speak. At least with headphones on. Thought I'd report it. The heck. Worded. The heck. Looks like a sound effect one of some kind. Looks like a sound effect one of some kind. This is definitely my good mic. This one. But I apologize. I don't know what to say. Was a good stream, you know. It's too bad sound is not perfect. Thank you, Robert. I don't know, should I continue or should I just call it quits for today? Excellent stream. Thank you so much. 2 minutes to midnight. This stream was inspiration. It means that I didn't work hard on it. It just came to me. Sometimes I think of a topic and something hits and, you know, pieces just come together in my head and, you know, like they put themselves together into a large picture. And that was the case with this stream. It was like, I guess, I can't write songs, I cannot write poetry, but I guess it's kind of the same thing, only a different way. How I make stream, it's an inspiration. So the best streams are usually those that I don't work hard on making. They just, like a song appears in your head, you know, or a poem, and that's kind of the same thing with a stream. Matt Blazer, in case I didn't say it before, I say it now. You bring me hope that there are still good people in the world. May God bless you and your family. Thank you so much, Matt Blazer. Looks like you're from Romania. You know, money is very appreciated, but the words like this are priceless. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I live and I do streams for words like this. Thank you. RW, Putin said economy is good because they used to get 1 ruble for selling an item and now they get 5. Perhaps you can explain that Elvira Nabiulina should stay away from Windows. Truth is embarrassing. All right, I think I know what you're asking. I know what you're asking, and Putin did say that. Hang on. I'll try to fiddle with... All right, RW. Russia exports, well, used to export lots of oil, lots of gas, and all internal payments are done in rubles. Let's say 1 ruble is, $1 costs 50 rubles. So, and again, all salaries the government pays in rubles. All internal payments it executes in rubles. But it sells oil to Europe, let's say, used to sell in dollars and in euro. And for example, the exchange is $1 to 50, $1 to 50 rubles. Okay, the United States, the Russia sells oil and gets $1,000. Now, at the rate of 50 rubles per dollar, Russia gets 50,000 rubles for each $1,000 that comes from outside. But if the exchange rate is 55, then rubles for dollar, then the amount of dollars comes to Russia, for the export of oil and gas is the same, $1,000. But Russian government sells it for 55,000 rubles. You see the difference? But it still pays the same salary. Salary doesn't grow. A teacher gets 20,000 rubles, no matter what the exchange rate is. So Russian government gets dollars and gets more rubles for the same amount of dollars, but pays the same amount of rubles to whoever it needs to pay. That's what Putin was referring to. And it's it's like a childish explanation of the economy. I didn't understand it back then. That's crazy to me, but that's what he said. Elvira Nabiulian should stay away from Windows. I think now all Russian officials should start worrying and staying away from the Windows. And Elvira Nabiulian also, yes. Eileen, thank you so much. Eileen, thank you so much. Well, I think I'll continue. Still sound is echoish, but still okay, Daniel McInnes, thank you from Canada. Sending my love to Canada. And X-Flying Tiger, what's your perception of the news? Does there seem to be less coverage of Ukraine, Russia in favor of Israel now? Look, friend, go and watch my yesterday's stream. That's exactly what I was talking yesterday. Yes, Putin and Russia has won because the attention has shifted from Ukraine that reigned the world news solely, unconditional, by itself, and now Israel and Palestine and Hamas actually, replaced the top news. Just turn on CNN right now and see what's going on. That's going to be Israel and Hamas. Whereas Ukraine? Yes, the news coverage has changed. I don't know how it's going to go in the future, but doesn't look good for Ukraine in terms of coverage. I'll be honest with you. And it's a shame. Veronica, howdy. Santa, you coming? A couple months left. Can Michael write you a list? Thank you for your words, Santa. It's good to know that, you approve up there in the North Pole. Cheers to your colorful popcorn, says Lena Axelson. Fruit popcorn. You see, fruit mix. It's crazy. They had caramel, chocolate, plain, and fruit, I figured that you've never seen fruit popcorn, so I decided to get that. It was good. Regular popcorn. Super size. That's a little bigger size of my mug, so you understand how much a popcorn is. By the way, I'm still kicking. I'm full of energy. I'm feeling much better. It means that it's not Putin's tea. It's good tea. Lorna, I keep remembering that comment that you deleted about Putin's tea yesterday. Dive Crew Canada. Constantine sounds like Darth Vader on Skills. Don't watch Darth Vader on Skills. Famous Maynard, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, uploading the mods. Dave Strains, Wanda. At the last Putin meeting that was on TV, he was leaning to the right instead of sitting up straight, as he usually does. That's exactly what I'm telling you. He did not look well. He did not appear well physically. And moreover, if you look, they were a little bit of recordings. His birthday was October 7th, right? And a few Central Asian presidents came to visit him. I think it was Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. And they showed him a little bit. He was personally greeting them, and he was driving the car. They were, all four of them were getting into the car, and he was driving them. And if you look the way he walks, he limps real bad. He never used to limp. Why does he limp? Sow it and hope it grows. Never had fruit mix popcorn. Me neither, so that's why I bought it. Jules Rames, what kind of flavor popcorn is that? Fruit mix. Sounds a little bit like robotic voice. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have anything turned on. This drives me nuts. I mean, I'm trying to deliver serious messages, and if sounds like robotic, it's not fun. OH3WE, why did Russia damage the gas tube between Finland and Estonia? Not to mention telecommunications cable. Plain and simple, I don't know. Scott Nesbitt, howdy. Uri Kwak, howdy friend. Hey, listen, I have an idea about the showing of the movie. I'm gonna get in touch with you tomorrow. We're doing a large offline event, 1 year anniversary of relocation to Russia. There'll be lots of people. There will be an Estonian ambassador to Central Asia. He confirmed coming, so I'm thinking of showing it then, but it's not certain, but that's what the thoughts are. Klaus Asmus, Putin is visiting Kyrgyzstan. Will he return? Let's wait and see. I don't know. But he's not too far from me now, but 200 miles south. DMC, I find Konstantin has a real feel of what's going on. Thank you, friend. I do. I am Russian. I am educated. I spent the last 20 years in Russia, inside the very heart of the industries, the energy business. I was an executive. I have very good understanding of Russia. I have good understanding of the West. I know how this clique works. I do have good understanding and a real feel of what's going on. Thank you. And Jason Carney, thank you for coming, friend, and thanks for supporting. I mean, I don't know what to say. Your support is louder than thousands of words. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you from me and from my wife. I appreciate it very much. And thanks for the sponsors. How many people have you sponsored? Must be a couple hundred. Thank you so much. There will be crazy news update tomorrow, and there will be private live stream day after tomorrow on Saturday. And folks, I am seriously thinking into putting much more efforts to Patreon and sponsorship, to patrons and sponsors. I've shared with you before, but this is what I want to do. You see, from morning till night, I seep through, I look, I filter the news. And there are so many news, and some of them are actually funny, some of them important, some of them crazy, but not crazy enough, not funny enough, not big enough to make the streams or to make crazy news updates. But, so you understand, the ones that I talk about, they're 5%. 95% are left behind the picture. So I'm thinking of choosing, while I go through, noting this news, and making like reports on for sponsors and for patrons. So that's what I'm thinking. I kind of started doing it, but I would like to intensify the process. Thank you. Crusader Damien, why won't Super Chat accept calling Russia and Hamas terrorist states? If not a question, it won't allow it. Why? Excellent message to... Well, I don't know. It's not a question to me. It's to YouTube, I guess. You know. Well, you just called them, so YouTube accepted. And thank you for the excellent message. You have the best questions and food for thought that I've received in these chats. Thank you for coming back and, you know, conversing. Koshkin Dom, good to see you. Michael Martinu, where else can you get geography, history, current, etc. in one place? Ha! Thank you so much, Michael. Or is it Michelle? Michael Martinu. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Can we create merch with canned popcorn somehow? What? Why can't? I mean, why do you want canned popcorn? By the way, I hope you don't mind. You know, I think it's every American's nightmare. Eating fruit mixed popcorn. It's actually, the pink ones are pretty nasty tasting. Not good. And washing it down with English tea. And having popcorn in Uzbek size. Huh? How about that, the Texans out there? That's not certainly your, not your Texan popcorn, you know. Not your size. RW, thank you so much for sponsoring 20 people. Thank you. I really appreciate your support and, you know, your attention. Thank you so much. Okay, Rose, point taken. Sam K, thank you so much. Coffee go, the land of fudge towards coffee. I like that, thank you. The streams, they make me, like talking to you guys, and girls, you know, that makes me feel alive, makes me feel good. Agneta, welcome to Inside Russia. We have a sponsor. Thank you so much for joining the program. That is just a scoop for Texas popcorn. I know, Truffles. I'll have 8 scoops, please. I know. When I was at the store, hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy, there's a different packaging. I'm gonna buy that. You'll be even more surprised. Okay. But this stuff is nasty. Fruit mixed popcorn. It tastes like chemical. Ugh. I like caramel popcorn, you know. Gosh, when was the last time I had popcorn? I don't remember. I went to movies with my wife. We love going to movies, but we haven't been to movies in, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years. That's probably what time I had popcorn last when I went to movies. Mr. Kaliskin, how are ya? Santa, buttered popcorn good also? Well, I bet anything is good at the North Pole, you know, at your pad when you're chilling, sitting watching TV or playing PlayStation or getting the presents ready for the kids. Dive Crew Canada, not to scare you, but from here, even the popcorn doesn't look too natural in your jar. It seems only identical aside the color, haha. That. Are you suggesting it's Putin's popcorn? Check it out. Oops. No, this is high-tech Uzbek stuff. They take one popcorn thing and clone it. Pamela J., it is said that the post office in Uzbekistan is so crappy we could shower consumer popcorn on Putin. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dive Crew Canada. No, it's not. Sure is not. Michael's gonna smell that and wake up. Dave Strains. The thing is, Michael doesn't know what the real popcorn is like. Because I've never taken him to movies. He's too young, too little. And where would he get popcorn? So probably he wakes up, tries my popcorn, and loves it because, hey, it's popcorn. And that's probably what popcorn tastes like, okay? So that's what's gonna happen. Pinda, you missed my super... Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Peter Burnson, welcome to Inside Russia. I'm sorry. Look, Pinda, I kind of dozed off about popcorn and stopped looking at the screen. I'm turning it up. Looking up. Oh no, please. I'm not seeing it. There you go. Following Konstantin's news around the world. Greets from the Côte d'Azur. Sending my love from Tashkent to Côte d'Azur. You know, it's not the worst place to be at. Enjoy your time there. Hopefully it's not... Well, I'm pretty sure it's warm there and nice. It's probably the best season out of all. And you know what? It's fantastic to have you as one of the usual suspects. Thank you so very much. Found that popcorn on Amazon. Really? You can actually buy it? Wow. Incredible. I wish I could get real popcorn. I mean, I kid you not. This is just what we have here. The other popcorn, I'll buy it. I should have bought two at the time, but the other one is even stranger. Alex, just checked. I've watched you since 13 March 2022. I would say much it's difficult to explain. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, it's difficult to explain for me how you have helped me tremendously, because without you, I wouldn't have not survived in Uzbekistan. I was by myself for 11 months. I went through the hardest time of my life. And I had two supports. One from you, from every evening. I would sit in front of the camera, turn on the screen, you know, and turn on the chat, and I would see lots of people. And then my offline community in the morning, I'd go and have breakfast with, drink coffee, you know, have porridge. And I would see faces and actually speak to real people. So that's... But you are the biggest savior. So thank you so much. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you, mods. Without you, I wouldn't have done it. And thank you. Mario Super, thank you so much. What's your take on the attack of Baltic Connector pipeline? If we assume it was Russia, NATO will respond. start a war between Russia and NATO? I don't know. I know that's been an attack. Okay, I know it's investigated right now. I don't know what to think. I have not investigated. I have not read about it. There's so much going on with Israel, with Ukraine. Then it's just. I will get to it sooner or later. So please keep on tuning in. Unfortunately, I cannot answer you right now. Thank you, Nightbot, for letting me know. Thank you so much. And Scan Family is here. Thank you so much. Jim Williamson. Must be serious. Yes, it is serious. It is the energy business. This is my stuff. This right here in my heart, you know. And Putin is telling complete nonsense about it. Let me finish up this conversation today with this. Out of all things to watch, I think what I've told today is the most important, most significant right now, because everything else is not that significant. Putin will fall, and the whole system will fall with him. And I am watching, I'm monitoring the signs, when he will fall, when. I have been under impression, I still have a gut feeling, he will not last long. That's going to happen before the end of the year. It's only 2.5 months left, we will see. I can be wrong, and I'm wrong sometimes, you know, but this is the gut feeling. By the way, I've been right on the ruble. The ruble update is coming tomorrow, and it's crazy. As crazy as ever. So, this is the most important to watch for. The fall of Putin equals the great reset of Russia. And it's happening right now. Happening. The signs are worsening. They're bigger and worse. So, let's have our popcorn right next to us. Thank you, friends. Let's pray. Invite everyone to pray along with me. Grabbing the list of names. Again, if you want to be in the list, please put it in the comments here or email, because I, start fresh every couple of weeks to give people chance to, to keep prayers a little shorter and to give new people chance to get on the list too. So let's pray. Thank you so much. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving us roofs and warm places. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful, and raise them in a way when they grow up and become adults, they will make this place a better world. They will have a better job living and running this world that we have done. Meanwhile, for now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help the Ukrainians who have been suffering from Russian attacks, help the country, and please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Please help stop bloodshed in Israel and in Palestine. Dear Lord, please help the Ukrainians who have been affected, and Israelis who have been affected. Please answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Please help my country, Russia. Assemble your army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, and send them all down to earth, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Have angels run Russia, make it peaceful, loved, loving, respected, and respected. Please help everyone who is traveling, who is seeking for asylum, and who's running away from danger. Please help the Ukrainians who are suffering from Russian attacks. Send them safety, please. Help single mothers who are struggling, raising their kids, struggling, trying to make ends meet. Send them help. Please help all the hungry, the sick, the betrayed, the homeless, the jobless, those who are addicted, depressed, not feeling well about their lives. Please help everyone in need. Surround everyone with your love and your warmth, so people will feel better about themselves and about their lives, and they will feel like there's hope for them and there's another chance to get up and make their lives happy. Thank you so much for allowing us to come together into this community and pray every evening. Thank you for that. Please help everyone who is praying along with me or simply watching us pray, answer their dreams and make their wishes come true. Dear Lord, thank you so much again, and please help these people who are on the list in my hands, who have been asked to pray for them and ask for them. I will start with a little girl, Sarah. She needs to have surgery done. Please send doctors, find time in the surgical ward for her. So she is operated on and it's successful. Surgery is successful and she will be recovering, and she's completely recovered, and she goes back to her parents to live in one happy home. Send your angels to protect her and help her. Send her help, fill her love, heart with love, and protect her. Please send her recovery and answer her parents' prayers, who constantly praying for her. Keep on praying. Please send them strength and also surround them in your warmth and love. Answer the prayers. Thank you. Please help Kyle E.'s wife, Joseph Johnson, Rhonda McGillis, who's fighting cancer, Heidi Homestead, CB, Ann Larson's daughter Hannah, please send recovery, Jason Connor, Janice Stevenson, Jay Spike, Leslie Fleming's daughter, Bas Semen, Sam from Kiev, Wayne, who's fighting 2 cancers, Anna in Poland, Scan family's members who need help, Dave and Dawn, Summers 613's mother, send recovery please. David Porter from Ukraine, his family and everyone from Chernovtsi. Joan Lee McMahon, Meta Spencer, Pamela J, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Jellicat Life, Lisa, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Grace Philosophy, Randolph, Karen, Liz, Susie Mailer, Elise Dombrell, Darla, George Ruberty, White Lightning, Vasilin Lubomirov, and Gloria Roberts. Please help all the children who are not feeling well, who are sick. Just send them recovery and send their parents strength. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you for praying with me. Thank you for staying. Thank you for coming back and watching. This is my honor to have you here. You are absolutely awesome and you rock. And I'd like to finish the stream and sign off with the usual. Please repeat after me as loud as you can. Carthago delenda est.